Hello everyone. Today I am going to discuss a topic that is fairly new to this channel, and again I am sort of switching on Thursdays to what I would have done to this particular category, and what I intend to discuss is something that I think is bad within, I guess, more of the entertainment realm. This can be a so bad it's good category. It can be a bad that it's mind-numbingly painful and annoying, or it can be just a bad where I understand what it is, but for me it's a guilty pleasure or something, and I give my reasons. But this particular one falls more in the second category that I mentioned, and that it's mind-numbingly painful and annoying. And that happens to be reality television, or at least a lot of reality TV shows. What I find really bothersome about reality TV shows is that they try to make out that this is the kind of world that we live in, and oftentimes they almost show people who are really at the bottom of the barrel. Like, they try to make it seem rather miserable, or try to give off a miserable feeling to you while you watch it, because it doesn't really offer anything interesting or insightful. It just kind of shows just people talking and people arguing and people going to clubs and people just doing stuff, and it's not stuff that's interesting, and it's not stuff that at least I relate to. Now, I can understand that there's some people out there who enjoy reality television and get whatever enjoyment out of it, but for me it's really not a form of entertainment as it is a form of brain cancer for me. It just feels like I am losing brain cells while I'm watching reality TV, because most of the shows I've seen are just people being angry, people getting into little drama situations, people that are very superficial, narcissistic, egotistical, people who are self-centered, spoiled. It's just hard to relate with the people that they show on reality television. And oftentimes you don't feel like these people are really self-motivated to do something with their lives. It seems that they would rather get sort of a free ride per se and enjoy whatever luxury they have. And by those kinds of shows I mean more of like the Desperate Housewives reality TV shows, the earlier MTV reality TV shows like Laguna Beach and The Hills, who were sort of exposing like the materialistic style of American living. And to me, that's just not the best way to approach reality television, because it just creates this really overindulgent world, and I just don't find any of it to be entertaining or interesting. And I think it just has these particular aspects within reality TV show where they don't try to distinguish themselves. It seems like they like to follow the same pattern of drama and putting maybe people up on display. Like you'll see Toddlers and Tiaras where these little girls, they're basically supposed to be beauty pageant contestants, and then the moms treat them horribly, and it really shows just the sheer inability for people to make something intelligent, and it really just makes me stand back and just go, oh, why are you doing this? It's just so hard because a lot of the times reality TV revolves around being this very in your face kind of entertainment, and that entertainment just comes off to me as just being so just ugly. Like it's nothing is pretty really to me about reality TV. And I think a particular channel that I wanted, or TV channel that I wanted to discuss that have sort of upped the antics with reality TV, and that is MTV. I think a lot of people like to associate MTV with their reality TV shows recently because people complain that there's no music, you can't just watch, music and watch music videos anymore. I kind of understand that, but at the same time, it's almost like YouTube has sort of been sort of the voice for music videos and music video content and music in general. So I don't really see why MTV suddenly needs to come back and be what it was like it was in the 90s, to be honest. But if they want to make a channel that's dedicated to that, I don't think anybody would complain. I think actually a lot of people would enjoy that. But for me, I don't really understand the point, and I wasn't really a teen during the 90s, so I didn't really watch MTV during the 90s. So I'm not really all that familiar with MTV. But I will say that for the most part, it seems like they've suddenly decided over the past, I want to say almost pretty much the past decade, to go into this reality TV show, reality TV show direction, in that they only produce reality TV shows for the most part. Now, some of these reality TV shows I actually don't find as brain damaging as some other ones. Like, for example, Made, whatever you say about it, even though at times it may seem a little, maybe a little superficial, it kind of tries to reach out to ordinary people and try to help them out with whatever circumstances they're going through and allow them to become what they want to be, which I don't think is really something bad for teens and young adults to watch. I don't really see that really damaging their brains. Also, I don't see, let's see, what's another, I guess you could say True Life, which is another MTV reality TV show. I don't see that as that brain damaging, but again, they do have some episodes. It just depends, I think, kind of on who the people are that they're following. Sometimes they'll follow people that seem like decent people and are just going through certain challenges within their life. And then there are just other episodes where it's completely just over self-indulgence full of people. There's one episode about like how these guys want to find women for money because they're broke and they don't want to work and they're lazy. So this really shows you how MTV has stooped. So really, those two particular shows are kind of a mixed bag for me. I mean, I think Made is probably a little bit higher than True Life, but at the same time, there's some things that I can pick out of there and go, oh, okay, that might work for me. But everything else, from 16 and Pregnant to Teen Mom to Jersey Shore, those shows, what was previously The Hills and Laguna Beach, just those shows I think didn't have a lot going for them to begin with, in that they want to be these shows that focus in on people and try to relate it to our own real life and make it reality. But the thing is that a lot of the times it comes off as so, I want to say like mean-spirited. Maybe not so much the Hills and Laguna Beach, because even though they do have these moments of like stupidity and moments where there's just this senseless drama that doesn't need to be there, it kind of just has this idea of displaying people as rather classy and sophisticated, even though they're not really all that sophisticated or classy, depending on who you're talking to. But really, it's just so hard for me to sit down and watch it and get into it. And I can just look at a screening of like just 5 seconds of Jersey Shore, and already I despise it. Like, just looking at how these people associate with each other and how they just scream, and then all they do is go into clubs, and they don't do anything of substance or anything interesting. It's just, it's just painful to watch for me, because when you're showing reality and you're trying to display these people as, yeah, these are actual real life people, it makes me want to like go back in time somewhere into a completely different generation and just somehow get away from whatever I think is reality television, because it does it in such a way that's so, I don't know, it's just degrading to people. It just looks so, it really just almost insults the audience's intelligence. It just says, yes, you have no brain. Watch these people argue. Watch these people fight. Watch Snooki get pregnant. Watch this and that. It's just, why? Why would I watch this? It's just, I don't understand the point, or at all. Now, there may be some reality TV shows that people would put more in the category of guilty pleasure, and that's, I think, understandable. But I think for the most part, the ones that I am addressing are ones that are just kind of these very superficial shows where you don't really see the characters really trying hard or trying to make something of their lives. It just seems like they're just there to party and drink alcohol, and that's their job. And I don't understand that. Like, how is that entertainment? Like, how is that of any substance or value? It's sort of the same thing with The Real World, which I think, I don't know if it started in late 90s, early 90s, or late 90s or early 2000s. But that show as well, I think, just grasps what I'm trying to say even further, because it seems like MTV was going in this direction that said, yep, we need to go and produce these kinds of shows. And these shows really are basically sort of the same thing. Nothing's really new, you know. I mean, yeah, there might be a different setting. Yeah, there might be different characters. Yeah, Jersey Shore characters don't necessarily look like Hills characters, but pretty much when you get down to it, they're pretty much the same exact people. They're spoiled, they're selfish, they're obnoxious, maybe just in different ways. Maybe Jersey Shore's a little bit more people who are just loud, obnoxious, and then the Hills are people who are just more annoying and not as intelligent, obnoxious. And I don't judge any of these. I just judge based upon what I've seen from the shows. I don't judge these people in real life. I'm sure in real life there might be some of these people are actually rather intelligent and get upon their lives and just say, yeah, what I do for this job is just trying to entertain people. I can understand that, and this video is not out to criticize particular people and say that they are unintelligent. But within the realm of their show, that's supposed to be reality TV, but for the most part reality TV scripted anyway, so we really can't say whether or not these things are actually real. It's just, it's almost like trying to say that the Sasquatch is real, even though we've only seen maybe a few blurry pictures of a Sasquatch. So really, you're not really going with any. I'm really only going based upon what I've seen in the shows, and for the most part, all of the characters are pretty much dumb. They don't offer anything to say. They don't try to change things. They don't try to be these forward-thinking characters. They just get wrapped up in whatever drama that's in their lives, and sometimes they make really dumb decisions, and it ends up going more downhill for them. I remember watching one episode of The Hills where there's this character in it, or, well, I guess her actual name is the same thing too, Heidi Montag, which is actually Monday in German, in case you didn't know. Heidi Monday. I'm just going to call her that. Heidi Monday. Yes, Heidi Monday. Miss Monday wants to have a child at one point in the series. This is in The Hills. And she's married to this guy named Spencer. Spencer doesn't want kids at all. In fact, he kind of at one point considers on getting an operation that would make it so that he wouldn't be able to have kids. So, and then there's Heidi on the other hand, who's like, I really want kids. And the dumb aspect to it is that the first dumb aspect is she goes to I think it's like a psychologist, and the psychologist says, well, didn't you guys talk about this before you decided to, get hitched, how kids were going to work, and if you were going to have kids, and, how many kids you want, and yada yada, and, and Heidi just kind of goes, oh, yeah, that would have been a good idea. Oh, we just didn't want to do that, didn't want to talk about that, which I find to be so dumb, because it's like, okay, if you want kids, you need to let your partner know that before you get married. That's just common sense. And then on top of that, she tries to do something even dumber, which is to get off her pills. Yeah. So that when she and Spencer have Whoopi, the possibility of her being pregnant would be greater. Yeah, that's her brilliant idea. And she tells this literally to one of her friends. I believe it's the Adriana, the brown-haired one, the only brown-haired one in that entire freaking show. And she totally goes along with this idea, like, yeah, this is a great idea. Yeah, sure, why not? It's just, oh my gosh, it's just so, ooh. So it really, when you're analyzing these characters, you go, why are they making these really, their choices are just so mind-numbingly dumb that you think to yourself, it's going to lead to more crap, and it's going to lead to more misery, and I don't want to watch that misery, and I'm pretty sure people who've watched other reality TV shows kind of see where I'm coming from, in that there's a lot of dumb decisions that are made, and a lot of these dumb decisions end up leading to sometimes maybe consequences, but at the same time there's always this like, oh, we have to make sure that everything kind of turns out okay, and that things for the most part are good. But the thing is you can't just put people on the screen and show the ugliest of the ugliest aspects of the character's decision making. I mean, it's just so, why? Like, why? it's hard to talk about, considering that it does really bother me. It does bother me that there are these shows out there that try to sort of be hip and entertaining. There's also sort of the 16 and pregnant. I kind of understand people trying to tell young adults about pregnancy and trying to warn them about pregnancy and telling them the consequences about pregnancy, but you don't need to do that by putting people on reality TV and having them be 16-year-olds and having them be pregnant. Like, you don't need to do that in order to get that point across. And it almost seems like MTV is only doing it now because it's so popular. And to me, I don't understand why it's popular. I don't understand, like, how is showing the probably one of the hardest things that a teenage girl could probably go through. Why are you showing people this? Like, it's not pleasant, it's not entertaining, it's ugly. It's a mix of ugly and pathetic. And it's not to say that these girls that did make those mistakes, that they are, that they are, that they are like this in real life, that they are, what the show portrays them to be. I'm sure that's probably not the case, but at the same time, you can't help but feel like that they're trying to expose these people and treat them as if they are like that they can't move on from it. Like, it's something so damaging to their life that they can't, it seems like that a lot of the times the people that they show are just at the bottom of the barrel, and it's not pleasant. It almost wants to make you cry in a way, because you're like, this is so bad. Like, why? Why are you showing this to people? It doesn't make any sense. So, really, when it comes to reality TV, I feel like people are just going about it the wrong way. I'm not saying that reality TV can't work at all. In fact, I think sometimes it can be effective if they go for things that, again, are a little bit more realistic and not intended to be harsh or cruel, but more like uplifting. If they can be more uplifting to people's problems. Like, I remember just the other day, I was watching with my boyfriend it was actually, I think I consider it pretty much a reality TV show, and it was called Restaurant Impossible. And it was just about this guy going around to all these different restaurants and trying to figure out what their problems were and trying to help the restaurants grow and succeed. Like, you take people that have these issues and you help them out and you make things better. But it seems like a lot of these reality TV shows don't really focus in on that. They seem to be of the mindset that, yeah, we need to show people at the most miserable, because that's really where the drama is, and that's really what's going to get people's attention. And to be honest, it's just not productive, and it doesn't offer anything to an audience. Instead, it just causes the audience to just sit there and look at their generation just go further and further down. Like, it doesn't feel like something that lifts your spirits, something that's encouraging, or shows people as being kind and sympathetic and learning from their mistakes. It doesn't seem like they show people really learning from their mistakes and taking responsibility. It doesn't seem like that they show that. It seems like they just show the ugliest of the ugly, and people arguing, people hurting each other, people just completely on the lowest of their low. and at the same time not trying to make the circumstances better. They just want to keep fueling that kind of misery and show people, the lowest of the low in society. And to me, that's just horrible. I mean, you could say that it's schadenfreude for you, and in case you don't know what schadenfreude means, it basically means laughing at other people's misery. It's a German word. Like Heidi Monday her last name's a German word. But really what I'm trying to get at, ladies and gentlemen, is that regardless of what you feel about reality TV shows, I feel that a majority of them just don't focus in on trying to do things in a more positive manner. They only focus in on the negative. They only try to focus in on, okay, what's the negative thing going on in this person's life that we can exploit? What's this negative thing that we can take that's going on in somebody's life, or in two people's lives, or in three people's lives, and just put it on TV? And to me, that's disgusting, and it's sad, and I kind of feel bad for people who've been involved with these reality TV shows, because they must look back on it and feel ashamed and hurt. And I can understand why people would be so distraught from just the sheer magnitude of stupidity that happens on reality TV. But despite what you feel about Jersey Shore, Toddlers and Tiaras, 16 and Pregnant, Teen Mom, The Real World, The Hills, Laguna Beach, and all the Desperate Housewives series, it only amounts to something that they have all in common, and that's just misery. The sheer horror of what society has become. And it's sad. I'm not saying that I've lost faith in my generation. No, absolutely not. I think my generation has made a lot of strides when it comes to technology and medicine, when it comes to entertainment. I still feel there's a lot of good movies out there that are still coming out, even though this year I don't think was really as great as maybe last year so far. There are, things within a practical sense that have gotten a lot more easier and a lot more convenient than they've ever been before. And to be honest, I'm proud to be in this generation. I like the certain things these particular things that we've accomplished as a species. But when I see this species in particular, humans, put on this box called a television, and when I see them do the most horrible things, it makes me feel just completely removed from the reality of the way things are. And I just don't like seeing it this way, and I don't like seeing things that just want to put people in misery. I don't like that. Like seeing these little girls being put into misery by being put out as a display for people in Toddlers and Tiaras, to seeing girls being degraded already by having a child at 16. These people on Jersey Shore who technically degrade themselves and get into fights and get drunk and don't do anything with their life. To see people like The Hill on the Hills and on Laguna Beach, where you see all these just spoiled kids that just kind of go along with whatever they have and sort of exploit that to everybody by having a reality TV show dedicated to them. It's just, yeah, it's just so superficial. It lacks substance. It lacks respect, and it's really hard for me to enjoy reality television. I mean, I'm sure there are exceptions to the rule, obviously, like I've mentioned some, but I feel like the ones that are really praised and put on a high pedestal are just ones of people just being over self-indulgent in themselves and the surroundings that they have, and trying to stir pots and pans, and it's not necessary. You know, it's almost to the point where it's mind-numbingly painful to watch, and it's sad. It just exposes people in the ugliest of forms, and I really don't like reality TV shows for doing that. It just, yeah, I mean, I could go on, but I think from what I've said in this video, I pretty much have given you sort of my interpretation of reality television. Again, I don't think all reality TV is bad or mind-numbingly bad, but at the same time, I feel like the way that it's praised, I think, is so is so scary because it has nothing of substance to offer, and it actually, I think, hurts our society more than it grows it. So if it's not just saying that reality TV shows are bad, it's saying the way they are not as great. But I think if they took ideas of trying to find people who maybe need some help, maybe need some encouragement, and give them that encouragement, then we would probably have a better way of displaying reality TV shows, and in a more intellectual way that actually makes us think, and can imagine seeing things that are actually supposed to sort of be part of real life, make us think. So yeah, I think that's really all I can say about it. But any questions, comments, concerns, I'd be more than happy to answer them. I understand if you like television shows like Jersey Shore or whatever the heck you watch, but at the same time, I still feel people should look at these through a more adult perspective and really realize what it is that they're trying to say as television shows. So that's really my only concern with them and why I put them in this bad, mind-numbingly bad category. But again, I am open to anybody's feedback, comments, questions, concerns. But I think that's really all I can say. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.